Hi everyone, welcome to the channel. Nick the Gardener. It's a beautiful day today again. Really cold and frosty. It's been like it now for about 3 or 4 days, but absolutely loving it. It's real nice, crisp, clean, beautiful weather. But I just snapped a twig off my compost thing. But yeah, I'd just like to say thank you to all my subscribers, all the new ones and existing subscribers supported me throughout. I started the channel almost 3 years ago now. My plot is up for renewal in February, around about 25th of February, something like that. And I normally pay £25 a year, or just under £25, which works out for my plot 20p a square metre, which I don't think is bad at all. I mean, you've seen the drone footage of the size of my plot, and it's quite sizable. And yeah, basically, it doesn't take too much to manage it now. But anyway, yeah, going back to my, yeah, the price is actually going up. It's going up 5p per square metre, so I'm probably going to have to pay somewhere between £30 £35. But that's still a real good price, I think. If you'd like to put in the comments what you pay for your plot. I mean, I'm not exactly sure what square meterage it is, but I think it's 7 metres wide by, I think it was 16 metres, something like that. I'm not actually, I did measure it ages ago, but I've forgotten since. But £25 at the moment, probably going to 30. Real good bargain, I think. Especially now I'm living in town. I'd love to get out to the countryside a bit more. But yeah, so it's been nearly 3 years in February since I got the plot. And like I say, this whole area, where I'm going to show you in a second, was pretty much all dug over when I first got the plot. I've swapped a few things around for the better, I think. And yeah, I'd just like to show the difference really from the plot when I first took it on till now. So I used to start all my plot tours from this side here, and this is where I did my first ever tour. And the soil was all completely bare pretty much. There's a few crops in it, there's some cabbage and some leeks. And over on the side over there were some green manures. But been dug over all the time, as far as I'm aware anyway. Sorry about my shadow in here. But yeah, to start off with, I'll pop a screenshot of what it looked like when I was first started. But yeah, there's a path through here with membrane, and it took me basically about 7 weeks to dig it all over. But yeah, so it had a bit of membrane through there, which had a bit of couch grass and stuff all under it and stuff. There was a row of raspberries through here, coming up to the strawberry bed, which was about here, I think. I've moved it over to there now. You can see that little robin flying around and a little sparrow. I think they're playing hide and seek together. But yeah, so I rearranged the plot. I dug it all over to start off with. I wasn't no dig to start off with. I hadn't really heard of Charles Dowding or anything, although I did go to college and do horticulture, so I never heard of it then. But that was in 2012, I believe. But yeah, basically, so since I found out to be no dig, I concentrated on making as much compost as possible. There was already a couple of compost bins on the plot. They were roughly in the same sort of place. I think there's one here, because them raspberries haven't been moved. They've still been there, but I planted some more there. So there's a compost bin here and a compost bin here. I just moved it over slightly. But I increased the size, I increased it to another one. But I'll be honest, I mean, it is really difficult, even for me, to get all these 3 filled and keep them filled, because every week they'll shrink down, so you've got to constantly keep filling them. Since my last video, you can see this one shrunk down a little bit. I've moved the thermometer down a little bit as well, just to see if it got any hotter down there, and it's about the same as the temperature in here, to be fair. It has started to drop a little bit now, but that's to be expected really, because I didn't really add any more nitrogen to it. But yeah, getting enough compost was the aim of the game for me when I first started. Watched Charles Dowding and yeah, just started making compost like he did, but I probably turned it more times than what he did. But yeah, so why did I go no dig then? I mean, it's not because I'm lazy or anything. I actually used to quite like digging the soil and stuff, but there is actually quite a lot of science behind it all. Yeah, so like I say, I started digging all the plot as soon as I got it, just to take out any rubbish what was in there, and I'm glad I did anyway. I would have dug it even if I was going to be no dig, because I wanted to find out what was in the soil and what had been buried, membrane and stuff. I did find quite a few of the metal pins, load of stones, load of couch grass roots, bindweed roots and stuff like that, so I wanted to clear it as much as possible, just for my own satisfaction really, and my own peace of mind. But yeah, so I decided to dig it. I'll spin you around. And I didn't have no compost at all. I didn't have no money to buy any compost. So all I did is I bought a big bag of blood, fish and bone, a 25 kilogram bag off the internet. And as I dug it, I sprinkled some of that around. And I think I had some chicken manure pellets too. And I thought that'd be all right for the first year. So in this sort of area here, I'd planted Brussels sprouts for the first time. And they got off to a real good go. I limed all the soil and everything, did everything right, put all the collars around the cabbages and the other brassicas what are in there as well, to stop the cabbage root fly. It's all going really well. Everything started growing well, and you know, I had a real good boost from the fertiliser what I added. But then after that, it was just, you know, pests and stunted growth, and you know, they got covered in green fly and white fly and everything just wanted to eat them. So it's a bit of a disaster. By the end I had to pull out all the Brussels sprouts and I didn't get any of them. Other things like the leeks what I'd interplanted with them and stuff like that, as multi-sown, I pricked out and moved them out somewhere else, and they grew on really, really well. So basically when I first started it, I had so many soil issues. I had club root, I've still got onion white rot, but I don't get nowhere near as many pests and diseases now as what I did when I first started it, when I first dug it over and didn't add any compost. So, like I say, I persevered making as much compost, because I'm a gardener. I collected as much waste as I could from people's gardens, and yeah, just started making as much compost as I could really. Yeah, and I kept turning it and stuff to make, you know, to keep it hot, get it going as much as possible, to try and make as much compost as I could to add it to the soil, to increase the structure, the fertility, the life in the soil, the drainage, everything really. So once I decided to go no dig, yeah, put a load of compost down, took up all the plastic on this part of the allotment. There is still a little bit round by the asparagus, but that bit I haven't really touched yet. So yeah, I put, yeah, so I added as much compost, wood chips, keep the soil covered, keep it insulated, keep it well nourished, let the worms take all the compost down to increase the water holding capabilities, the drainage, fertility, life. Yeah, it's amazing really. No dig. I mean, I don't hardly ever have to weed or anything. I'll show you inside my onion bed, which I haven't weeded since I planted it up. And just go through here now, and so yeah, there's just, you know, a couple of weeds. I didn't put a massive amount of compost on here either. It needs another covering really. But yeah, we're doing all right. And like I say, not many weeds. I don't have to water much either. which is awesome. I mean, I'm not here very often now. I used to live in the village, and I used to be able to nip down here every evening, just pull out a couple of weeds and stuff if I needed, or do a bit of watering. But now I've moved into town, which is about 10 miles away, but sometimes takes me 20 minutes, half hour to get here. Yeah, I can't just nip over here to water now, so being no dig, like I say, I hardly ever have to weed, don't have to water, pests and diseases are reduced. Hopefully one day I'll get rid of the onion white rot, but I mean, I've got a mole on here which is going through all the tunnels what he's created and spreading anything like that around, any soil-borne diseases or anything is going to be spread around. But that's like a little taxi service for all the bacteria, nematodes, all the other little small creatures what are in the soil. And basically what I'm aiming for is by about 5 years time, this plot should be self-fertilising. So all the life in the soil is all killing and eating each other and pooping each other out, which is all making plant available food. And once you get to a certain level, as long as you keep on adding compost, which is like the food for it all, it'll be self-fertilising. You get to a point where no weeds want to grow. I've got a little issue with bindweed here soon, but I've been putting it out each year. And hopefully this year, will be the year when I've totally eradicated it. But like I say, add as much compost to your soil as you can. Don't dig your soil. Keep as many plants or as many roots in there for as long as you can. Because nature's way to cover bare soil is to fill it full of weeds to help the soil recover. Eventually, once you've added enough weeds in there, put all the exudates in the soil, died down, added organic matter to it. So all that organic matter helps to repair the soil and make it better for other plants to grow. So you need to have really good soil for trees to grow into a forest and stuff. If the soil just keeps getting depleted, you just keep getting weeds there and other things trying to come in to recover the soil. The plants can farm all the bacteria what they need from the soil by pumping out exudates, and some of these exudates will attract bacteria. Some of them are completely destroyed, but others are just recycled and then pumped back up again. So the plants are basically farming their own bacteria and everything that they need, which is amazing. And that process is called rhizophagy. So if you're interested in looking at the soil food web, I mean, I'd advise looking at Dr. Elaine Ingham, Matt Powers, Jeff Lowenfels and his 4 books, Teeming with Microbes, Fungi, Nutrients and Bacteria. Professor James White for rhizophagy. Yeah, all really excellent people to watch, all on YouTube. Learn a lot. If you're interested in Charles Dowding, they're the people to follow next. Because Charles does go into a little bit of the biology and everything, but not into as much depth as these other people. So, check them out. So another main benefit of no dig is that you can get up to a 10% increase in your crops, your yield, your harvest. I know it's hard for most people to go no dig completely, but if you can do one bed, I'll at least say try it. It does save a lot of time. I mean, if you can increase that over the years, do another bed each year, start making your own made compost, which is the most important thing really if you've got an allotment, in my opinion. Yeah, I can't see many downsides to it really. Other than, unless you're going to make lots of compost like I do, possibly, if you like digging and keeps you fit, that's one good thing for digging. But if you ask me, no dig's the way forward really. And every time you dig the soil, you release releasing carbon, and you want to try and get as much carbon into the soil as possible. Yeah, I mean, anything else I've missed out, please pop it in the comments. Or if you've got any, if you disagree with anything I said, yeah, pop that in the comments. Disagree with me or agree with me, or if I missed anything, or if you prefer digging to no dig. Yeah, anything, any questions or anything, please pop it all in the comments. And like I say, thanks for all the subs. Absolutely brilliant. Never thought I'd get, like I say, to 1,000 subs, not when I started and that. So it blows my mind. Thanks for all the support and everything. And yeah, have a good rest of your winter. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.